Ladies and gentlemen, I am delighted to welcome you to the last but not least session of the day here in the speaker hall. The future of payments, embedded or... Please give a warm welcome to our moderator Nikolett Palinkas, SVP of Client Relations at Payabl, who will introduce her esteemed panelists. Nikolett, dear speakers, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. As our dear colleague said, my name is Nikolett Palinkas and I represent Payabl and the SVP of Client Relations in Acquiring. I would like to welcome each and every one of you at IF Expo International 2023. And during our panel discussion, we are going to discuss the future of payment, embedded, or we are going to find out what the OR stands for. During our discussion, I'm going to touch base on three themes. The first one is going to be the era of the embedded finance and the future of payments. Then trends that have changed the global and the European markets. And the final theme is going to be what kind of services, products you need to offer in order to stand out of the crowd. But before I start asking my questions, I would like the panelists to introduce themselves and say a little bit of their responsibilities, what they do exactly within their companies. So whoever would like to start, maybe Ran?
Yeah. So good afternoon, everybody. We're going to stretch you to the last session over here, so bear with us. My name is Yehud. I'm SVP Commercial at Nuvei. Nuvei is a payment processing company. We actually have 47 acquirers around the globe. We are supporting many alternative payment methods, and I am supervising all the region of the MEA region. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the last session of the day. I'm Vasilis Ioannou. I'm the head of the customer service unit at EcomBX. We are a regulated EMI, regulated by the Central Bank of Cyprus, offering a variety of financial services to our customers. So I hope you enjoy the show. This is the last session of the day, so bear with us. It's going to be a very interesting topic.
Hello, my name is Elena Patterson. I am Group CFO at Advanced Payment Solution. I represent our company. We are a payment processing company, and also we are software development company. We develop software products for fintech. Thank you.
Hi everybody, my name is Sofian Berahal. I did hear that at the end of the session there will be wine served, but I'm not sure if that's a true promise from the organizers. Myself, I'm working at NextPay, which is a Lithuanian-based EMI. I'm responsible for the commercial side of the organization, but also spearheading NextDesk, which is an OTC, a crypto OTC desk, which combines the services together. So what we do is basically help those companies who are behind the embedded payments. And I'm very glad to be here with you tonight.
Thank you very much for the introduction. So to kick off the panel session, I would like to ask my first question, which is basically, dear panelists, how do you see the evolving the embedded finance? How do you see the embedded finance evolving in these coming years? And if your company has done any kind of strategic steps in order to prioritize this trend? Or if you think that it was prioritizing, how do you see this? Ran, would you like to go first?
I think it's an excellent question, and I'm looking at the industry, and I'm accompanied the industry for the past, I believe, more than a decade. And many things have been changed. If in the past it was good enough just to accept payment, accept credit cards, get into one type of integration, nowadays you need to support all different types. Integration, you need to have the ability to be flexible, you need to have this type of agility towards the clients, you need to have this type of maybe partnership with the different type of merchants or ISOs or PF. Each one of them will have its own requirement, and yes, we have adopted and we have made tremendous changes in making our API easy, comprehensive, and very friendly to be used. And so that's something that definitely.
Thank you very much.
Maybe just to follow up on what Ran said, I actually have a little bit of a different view about how the embedded finance is evolving as such. So I think it's in a way an old narrative that we have been living through the last decade. From saying, I think Stripe started in 2010 offering embedded payments, and that industry really grew massively. I think you also seen the statistics that only this year we're expecting to see global revenue generated from embedded payments of around 32 billion. And this is expected to grow 80% in the next 4 years. So we are talking actually about immense growth. I think about the future of embedded finance actually expanding its reach outside of embedded payments or complementing it with embedded insurance. And you have seen what Tesla has done. I think that they were the pioneer in embedding insurance policy when you buy a car from them. And now everybody's trying to basically copy what they do. Now we're talking about embedded lending in the app as well. I am actually very passionate to talk about embedded investing. So there is a lot of actual demand from mass retail, mass affluent users to complement the services that they already start receiving from the embedded payment providers and add embedded investing as well. And I always give a statistic, and I think Elena wanted to talk about demographics and financial inclusion, but since COVID, for the first time ever, retail investors hold 50% of the global wealth. And those people would like actually to proactively manage that. And especially now in a downturn market, they're looking at providers, fintech providers, to embed wealth tech solutions. And those retail investors are looking basically to diversify their investing strategies. So what I see actually on the horizon is very much that embedded investing developing. I'm seeing more about embedded investment APIs within the embedded payments ecosystem, embedded robo-advisories. So this is what I would like actually to hear more and see more when we talk about embedded finance.
I will add to that. I see the other uses for embedded anything basically that is finding a use case. But speaking of the evolution, I always look at the customer experience from that perspective, because I think it's very important to note that years ago, let's say 10 years ago, to purchase some things through merchants, to get things done, you would have to go separately to your bank account, fill up that form, make the payment. And I think the drop-off rate that was back then, and I know from myself that it would just take too long, it would be too difficult, and I would just change my mind in the middle of it. So for the success of both users and the merchants that are offering embedded services, I think it's a tremendous improvement. And one thing that I have seen is that the fintech scene that has been pushing that topic further, it has also pushed other banking participants and regular banks, credit institutions to also go with the technology and start really being open to that kind of solution. So here, embedded payments, I think it's a win-win for everybody. Not only customer gets a better service, but the merchant gets a better retention, more business. And continuing on the statistics, I did read a piece where almost 90% of merchants and companies that have implemented embedded services, they observed immense growth from those existing clients who are just one click away from purchasing again the same product or renewing subscription. So I think it's a win-win.
I agree.
If I may add, because I totally agree with the commercial perspective and the consumer approach. Being in customer service on financial institutions for more than 15 years now, we witnessed this rapid and agile growth of embedded finance over the past few years. And I would like to add that this creates both opportunities as well as challenges. It's an opportunity for financial service providers to reach a wider market because consumers now can access finance within applications that normally they couldn't in the past few years. But it also creates the challenge to actually meet this demand and meet with the increased competition and be able to offer what is now expected and is considered a norm from a customer perspective.
Totally agree, but challenges can also help with the competition because not everyone can meet because it involves a lot of development from the companies. I can see from our side as well that whenever the new trends emerging, you need to invest in the development, you need to engage. But I totally agree.
I have to say something. I think about embedded finance, the key concept of it is you cannot do it on your own. It has to be an ecosystem of partners that could support you to drive that journey. This is all about the embedded finance journey on every step of the way. Yes, so you might actually consider that you compete with somebody, but in reality they might be addressing different target segmentation, different user groups. So what I see actually, what really helps us a lot in driving that embedded finance journey is very much that collaborative partnership approach of getting people in the ecosystem, companies like us, because we represent very different part of it, and just bringing a more end-to-end digitalized, personalized journey for our end consumers. I believe that's the main goal.
Thank you very much.
Totally agree. Just actually, my view is just slightly different. I think we're just scratching the surface right now. It's like when we had streaming services, and then suddenly we have all these options to choose from. That's how I see embedded finance moving. We are trying to establish a reliable ecosystem, and before everyone joining this trend, with the competitive base, with the competitive nature of financial industry, it's important that your product must make a difference. At APS and Advanced Payment Solution, we often ask ourselves, what impact will our product make to our clients? We are not just selling a product. Anyone can sell the product. But we create our product. First of all, we use Stellar blockchain. For example, our recent product, we created B2B wallet. This product offers the clients a secure and efficient way to manage their cross-border payments. And thanks to proof of agreement consensus mechanism, Stellar network is faster, cheaper, and far more energy efficient than many other blockchains. And my opinion that to choose making products on Stellar blockchain was a very right strategic decision that our company made at start. So that's how I see it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And before we were talking about the speech, you also pointed out the demographic. And I would like to ask you, which is a good point actually, how the demographic is influencing the payment trends. Do you agree with the fact that it indeed affecting the payment trends? For example, the generational differences, Generation X, Millennial, Generation Z, like what kind of payment methods they are preferred to use and how it's influencing the trends?
Yeah, for sure. Useful population, they fuel the expansion of online payments. Young population, I mean. Because they are more easy adapted to modern technology. That's so obvious, and so online payments, they stimulate entrepreneurship, they stimulate cross-border trade, financial inclusion in the markets. So that's quite simple and straightforward.
It's interesting. I actually live and breathe for Gen Zs now because they're our main customer segment, or at least we try to innovate because of them and changing our customer journeys. So 60% of the Gen Zs consume financial services from fintech organizations. That's a very key fact for us. So for them, they are not loyal to a traditional banking institutions. They, in a way, don't care engaging with them. What they're looking at is speed and customer engagement. And what I actually think is, because we were studying a lot the Gen Zs, we actually tried to expand our research in terms of understanding how embedded finance will change. And I have to tell you that the biggest impact I see is specifically in jurisdictions and countries where you still have a very large proportion of the population being unbanked. And we use this term unbanked, which means that these are people that do not receive financial services. And what we see right now at the moment is that with a mobile phone that they have on the palm of the finger, all of a sudden, they are actually exposed in a way receiving financial services. And I wanted to give you maybe an example of the most glorious embedded finance initiative I have seen. I was judging in the Banking Tech Awards last year. And there were 5 initiatives around the globe that were selected for the best embedded finance. And one of them, most of them actually come from Southeast Asia, that is the pioneer, I believe, in embedded finance over the last decades. And that initiative was the following. It was a JV between one of the largest retail banks in Thailand and Line, which is a messenger app, similar to WhatsApp, very widely used in Asia. What they did is they built the first true social bank. They call it Klein, that's the name of it. So Line has 49 million active users on the messenger app. The idea behind Klein was that they wanted actually to tap into that unbanked population, rural population, and they said, okay, we would like to offer embedded payments, this is how they started, and embedded loans through the messenger app. And you know what they did? In a couple of months, they managed to attract close to, actually the number was 4.7 million active users, and they managed to give 600,000 loans. So that was actually the interesting thing of how embedded finance actually can help financial inclusion tap actually into this area where financial services were not being provided as well. And I really wanted to share this example because there are more and more coming out of Southeast Asia as well that most probably we will be trying to monitor here.
I have 2 stories to tell about it. One 7 years ago and one very recent. 7 years ago I was in China with the person of ours that is in charge of that region. And he was going everywhere, and everybody did, paying through the device with an app, relatively new at the time, for WeChat. It was so new to everything. He has everything top up. And those super app that over there, just now Europe is getting closer to that. You can see, PayPal is trying to get into that. You see Spotify a little bit. You see Uber that also do groceries and you can order things. But WeChat and others similar in Southeast Asia are there and way above in that regard. The other story is about a young person, okay, that could be my daughter, 19 years old, went to Berlin, no wallet, no money, nothing, just this device with her, spent 5 days, everything through this device, everything contactless, Apple Pay, Google Pay, Apple Pay, her case, everything is getting paid for that. For me, for our generation, some of us, it's kind of weird. This is what is happening. This is how the demographic, nobody needs those credit cards, nobody wants this engagement. Youngsters are less cautious about security, less cautious about other things. They just want to get things done quick and fast and here and now. These are the 2 short stories I have about the demographic and the super app changes.
Thank you very much indeed. It's true. I mean, even if you just look at yourself, you can feel it on you that I'm pretty sure none of you have cash right now with you. And you pay everywhere with your mobile or your watch.
The leaders are the youngsters, the leaders.
Our discussion now leading to the next question I would like to discuss, which is the key trends. If you can share with us the key trends that you are seeing that are actually affecting the payment landscape. If you can give us a few examples. What you think.
I could maybe bring up one part of payments that I think is still underserved, and that's with technology and blockchain was mentioned on this panel already. And what I see, especially operating in the industries that we met here today to discuss, we talk about forex industry, gaming, gambling. These industries don't really enjoy embedded payment that much yet, and I think that's a place where the trends will come in, and let's say forex clients, the traders, they will want to have more and more quick click solutions, but I think that will be with a twist, and the twist will be with usage of crypto technology. because there is an obvious trend I see in payments processing, for example, for forex brokers, that big majority of traders, they prefer to do deposits in crypto, using stable coins to keep not only to increase the speed of payments, to skip some fees, but also to keep anonymity. And I think that's going to be very apparent in the future. And we can go beyond trading and gambling. We can go to all sort of adult industries that are the ones we don't usually speak about, but are the ones who turn such an amount of money on a daily basis, but are yet to discover this convenience from user experience. But there, the crypto part is imminent, in my opinion, and I think that will be just an improvement on the embedded offer in general.
Yes. Okay. And what I noticed that the traders basically they need a payment method that is as fast as possible. They get the money on the trading account as fast as possible. That at the same time the merchant needs to make sure, the forex broker, that there is less credit risk, because with fast payment there is credit risk at the same time. What is your opinion about which kind of payment methods would be the one that service the traders' needs and also provides less credit risk for the forex broker?
So we see today, open banking rise, especially in Europe, okay? See account to account, we see Google Pay, Apple Pay, all these things, are, touch, bio, and those things are instant. And we see that now more and more are shifting into that. And that makes sense, okay? They are cutting the chain, they are making things faster, even cheaper. And this is something that we definitely see across the board.
But I want to comment on that cheaper, actually, because when you think of all the apps and that you can just tap the phone and use, and great majority of them goes through the big guys, goes through Apple Pay, goes through Google Pay, and there's one thing that is very important about those giants, that they are very expensive, and they are taking a big chunk of the revenue from the actual merchants and from all those apps that have in-app purchases that offer you this one-click service. So by these companies, by actually helping the user, they are giving away part of the money that they would normally get. So what I think here is important to mention is that we need some more decentralization of that. We need more of technology providers to include embedded payments solutions within the tech that they are giving to users and to companies that later provide the services. Because there are many rates that are mentioned online about Apple Pay, for example, that they can get up to 40% of the price that user is paying for the service. So that's also something to think about. And to answer the question about the most convenient payment for a trader, it depends whether they want to have speed or they want to have, let's say, cheaper price, but get the deposit into the broker. Because if you want speed, you may as well use a credit card, right? It goes pretty much instantly. But you're going to pay some fees, and either you or the broker is going to pay that. But knowing the arrangements
usually the broker should.
Broker should, but again, it's not 100%. But I think the palette of choice is the key here, because you need to let your client choose what do they actually want. But if you offer them card, bank transfer, let's say crypto transfer, all within a grasp of few clicks, let them make the choice.
Okay, thank you very much.
Elena. I'd like to mention about things like Ran already mentioned that Google Pay, Apple Pay, yes, they're easy, they're efficient, they're quick, secure, and people like to use it, yes. And I think such giant companies like Apple Pay, Google Pay, they inspired the industry to develop products more convenient, more efficient, yes? So that's first. And about other trend, I can give an example. Like, for example, everyone knows Binance, yes? And it has something like 140 million users, yes, all over the world. So it's just a huge number. So And we were thinking, like, why not to suggest to our merchants one more payment method, which is, like Sofian said, definitely cheaper comparing to MasterCard, Visa card processing, fast, secure. So we implemented Binance Pay. And now we offer to our merchants Binance Pay as a payment method. So, and this is actually, Binance is a trend now. Yep.
If I may add, fundamentally what we see now is that payments are going towards being effortless, frictionless, instant, and this is where actually embedded finance comes into play, because it includes the payment process in the customer journey, in an end-to-end customer journey. What especially the younger generations want now is not to have to go to the bank, not physically, not even digitally. They don't want to log out from the application that they are using in order to visit a different application to process the payment. They want this payment process to be included in an end-to-end journey within the application that they are using or the platform they are using. And although I totally agree that currently, let's say, the industry is monopolized by 2-3 key players that have the capabilities of charging more. At this stage that we are now, I think we need to embrace the leaps in technology, as Elena mentioned, in order to get to where we want to go, to take the leaps forward to create this frictionless journey for the customer. And then we can take a step back and say, okay, do you have any other options apart from the obvious ones that can cut costs or provide additional opportunities or options to the customer?
Thank you very much. Tamara?
I agree actually with what we have been discussing, and my point is that if you think about a 19-year-old, he thinks that actually that should have already been done, a frictionless, effortless payment. What they're expecting, I believe, is what we should be striving to, is to have a much wider palette of services that we offer to these consumers, meaning it could be payment, and that should be instant, independent. If you would like to, I don't know, settle your bill, order a taxi, invest in stocks, or anything like that. So I think that we should be beyond this discussion, if you ask me, and really start thinking is, okay, what else we can contribute and how we can contribute. Again, I wanted to give you a couple of the kind of trends that I see coming from Southeast Asia in terms of how embedded finance actually it's evolving. Interestingly, you all have seen what has happened with the fractionalization of US stocks and the fact that each one of us can ultimately buy even 1/10 of Tesla. What is happening in Southeast Asia, that the majority of the super payment apps are already offering like cash sweeps in US fractional stocks just as a standard. And to give you an example, South Korea, Kakao Pay, 30 million active users every month, and majority of them, their statistics, 70% are actually trading in US stocks. So this is one thing, is where you're starting to combine different areas of embedded finance into embedded payments, embedded investing. And the other thing I wanted to share with you is that the young generation would like to see on the embedded finance platform a community being built. They want to belong to a community, they want to exchange their views. So I think the next steps for us is to really start thinking about how do we build that social type of platforms that provide embedded finance type of services. So this is what I think.
Thank you very much. It's interesting to hear each and every one of your views. What are the key trends based on your industry and the company that you
Very
represent?
different views,
Yes.
by the way.
But I think we can agree all that what's happening in Asia, we are years and years behind, because these guys were optimizing those processes when we were, running after ATMs, and yeah, I hope that we will get there within this decade.
So I want to share with you a story, my personal story. So I was part of UBS, responsible for their wealth management application modernization, and the incubators were always starting out of Asia. And what the wealth management basically consultants we hired were saying is that clients in in Southeast Asia. First of all, they prefer a fully digitalized journey because they feel intimidated by their advisors contacting them. They don't want the service that we receive in Europe. You know, somebody calls you, hello sir, how are you doing, how is your wife? They was finding this intimidating. And then I remember one of the senior execs of UBS standing up and says, guys, they're all gamblers. This is why we have to give them such kind of services. Everything should be digitalized, even in high net worth individual space. So this is how Southeast Asia, even 15 years ago, was really developing in the direction of everything should be digitalized, even for your high net worth clients. That's why I think they're embracing this kind of initiative much faster.
Thank you very much. And slowly we are reaching the last theme of our panel discussion, which will be the products and services that you need to offer in order to stand out of the crowd. Now, each and every one of you is representing, some of you are in the same industry, and we all know that payments are a very competitive industry. And I would like to ask you to share with the audience what are the services that you indeed offer in order to make you better compared to the competitors in your region. Would like to start?
I think today you need to listen to the clients, and the clients are looking at specific region where they feel their audience will come from. I'm saying client, I'm relating to merchants. It's security brokers, great, but can be retail, it can be travel, it can be airlines, it can be digital goods, it could be digital asset, whatever. And they want to penetrate the market. And for that you need to have as much as possible relevant solution. And sometimes it will be a QR code, sometimes it will be a wallet, and sometimes it will be Google Pay or Apple Pay, and sometimes it will be regular machine that behind them it's like account to account or open banking or whatever. So yes, we have done tremendously in order to get into that arena in many different regions around the globe. But we also develop different other products in collaboration. We and others in collaboration with the scheme, in collaboration with those ecosystem alternative payment methods in a way that we will be able to penetrate and the flow will be seamless and it will be frictionless. And these are things that we are constantly putting much effort. Our company, as others, are there for quite some time, and we want to be significant, we want to be relevant, and we have to do that all the time.
Thank you very much, but could you please tell me maybe one solution that is the most sought for? Because yes, you mentioned that you are listening to your clients and indeed they tell you what they need. But what is the solution that you, by listening to them, you provide and it makes you stand out?
So, for instance, I can give certain examples. Okay, several examples. Like if I refer to alternative payment methods, so we always listen to them and then we actually go engage, integrate, and get that done. But they don't want just pay in; they want the whole flow. Want to pay out. They don't want just pay out, they want it instantly. And they don't want instantly, by instantly they mean on the spot, like only gap of 1 minute to 10 minutes. But then maybe you need to do something else. Maybe you need to have, to put some service in a place that you didn't have before. And to allocate those resources. So these are the type of things that we did. We did it, for instance, in Thailand, we did it in solution in Malaysia. We managed to have our own solution in LATAM that is quite unique, and we are doing some stuff. So these are from that area.
Thank you very much. Tamara?
From my perspective, I want to give you an example. It's every single time when I speak to a neobank, fintech startup in Europe, they ask me, we want to become like Revolut. Everybody, like 95%. Why? Because Revolut has managed, first of all, to build that super app attracting millions of users, but was able to embed within that various types of services through partners. So what Ram was saying is very true, is that I think the future of embedded finance is more and more working in an ecosystem of partnerships. None of us can do it on our own. We will not be the best. The market is constantly evolving because our end consumers constantly demand something better, faster, more reliable, more personalized. I wanted to share with you is we have been spending a lot of time on something maybe you find a little bit like far away, but we were spending a lot of time also on the educational side as well. Because what we start seeing is that when we start embedding, to give you an example, okay, I can speak to you day in, day out about embedded investing. I don't stop about that. Why everybody should invest, etc., etc. The reality is that I have clients, financial institutions that enable investing for their end consumers. And this service doesn't pick up because you don't know who your customer is, you don't know how to educate them to embrace a new service. So we spend a lot of time actually building financial literacy educational content. So it's all about curating a user journey. So it would be, I give the example with my mother that complained to me that she missed the Bitcoin boom and I didn't tell her about that, and curating that journey for her understanding that. Or you might having a 19-year-old that there is someone here in the audience whose nephew most probably trades from 12-year-olds. So you have to curate the user journeys, you know, and you need to know, as we were saying, who your customer is, what do they demand, and based now on AI analytics, you just curate that journey, you feed it into them. I think this is the next level of actually innovation we are driving at the moment.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Actually, I totally agree with both Ran and Tamara. First, on the matter of personalization, I mean, it's very, very important to understand and to know your customer in order to offer what the customer is actually expecting. Because we're talking about expectation now. We're not talking about needs. Customers are expecting things from you. So I totally agree on the matter of personalization. It's a key factor. And of course, what Tamara previously said about partnerships. We are living in an era of embedded finance. We are living in an era of partnerships. No one can do this alone. And more importantly, no one can do this in time to meet the expectations of our customers. If we want to reach that expectations within a reasonable time frame, we have to work together. Financial service providers, technology companies, client-facing companies. I mean, all these industry-specific skill sets need to come together in order to be able to produce not a specific product, but a journey that actually meets the customer demands within the very, very limited time frame that customers are actually expecting.
Thank you very much.
Totally agree with the previous speaker. Yes, we have to meet what customers expect. We have to be consistent as well. We have to offer services they expect and they got used to get from our company. And we have to be also dynamic, but reasonably dynamic. Just not like viral meme. We have to be reasonably trendy. If crypto, NFT, even TikTok challenges, we have to be in trend as well. And if customers expect from us fast payment, if they expect host-to-host fast payment flow, API integrations, we have to meet their expectations. That's important.
Absolutely, and I would also like to add that you need to educate them. Because there is one thing that they expect and they want, and because they heard, they see, and they want to use the method, but you need to make sure that as a payment service provider, you educate them. Because not every payment solution suits the merchant and how they are operating.
For sure.
For me, the question comes to my mind, why Tamara didn't tell her mom about the Bitcoin boom. But jokes aside,
Tamara is a long-term investor in crypto.
One,
At least one in the company, not more.
For sure, you have to mention about Monero and Dash as most secure.
what I very much like was what Vasilis said about that the perfect solution isn't created by one company. It's a split of different partnerships that is able to create this user journey and to make it all the way seamlessly to the destination. But one thing that is not often mentioned on such panels is embedded payments, but also responsible payments. And what we've been trying to work on, and as we support those merchants and those companies that are receiving payments from their clients, we worked a lot about on compliance. Because you can make as instant solution as you want, but if your compliance is not set straight in terms of transaction monitoring, in terms of understanding the businesses of those merchants, you're going to have days and days of delays. So our little brick of this evolution is such that we made our compliance understand each and every business that we're dealing with in order to set all the procedures and alerts in a way that that we can allow the maximum amount of payments without delay or without being flagged or asked for explanation. And I think this mostly refer to higher risk transactions and forex and gaming and so on. But I think AML is not going anywhere away, and it's going to be more and more present with us. Even in low risk industries, it's already there. You have to explain where's the money from and so on. So I think this is also a part that is not spoken on too much, but it's a key, one of the key elements to make that user all the way through. Because if you technically process the payment in split of second, but then your compliance manager stopped it, well, it's not going to be very, very seamless.
Very true, very true. And let's not even go there to compliance and AML.
That's what I said, not very much mentioned in this show.
Okay, unfortunately we ran out of time, so thank you very much for the speakers for providing us very insightful feedback about embedded finance, and thank you very much for the audience for coming and hearing us out. I hope you enjoyed the session, and hope to see you soon again. Thank you very much.
Thank you.